get involved, or you just want to know more about a project, please feel free to email us. You can call us. We have a Google Voice number. You can get in touch with any of our board members. We're happy to help. With that, I'm going to kick it off to Vince from Adam Ravenstall's office. Vince, are you on the call?
Yep, I'm here.
Would you mind giving us just, hello, nice to see your face.
Hi, good to see you.
If you just want to give us a couple updates from you, then we'll let you jet off to what you got going on this evening.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks. I appreciate the opportunity here. So just a couple of things to touch on. Rent rebates for the seniors are still being processed, and the state has started to release some of that money early. They used to not release it until July, but they are releasing it early because of the pandemic to get it to people earlier so they can use it for whatever they need. And our office is still able to help via phone, or we can make arrangements to help if people need help with those. So just have them call our office or email us, and we're happy to still help with those. Unemployment issues, a lot of problems have been fixed. A lot of people are receiving unemployment and filing their biweeklies. There still are some issues, obviously, going on with people not receiving money. Our office is able to help with that. So if you know anyone having unemployment issues, they should call our office or email us. We'll ask a series of questions and information, and if needed, we will get a hold of unemployment and have a claim specialist look into their claim, or contact them if need be to get their situation fixed.
All right, great. Vince, is that that's everything you've got?
Sorry, no, somehow I muted.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you guys mentioned before the meeting started, you had a citizen that was 100 years old. We can do a citation from the state. If you get all of their details, name, birth date, address, we can get a citation from the state. Basically, it's like a proclamation stating, that they've reached 100 years old, and that's certainly a milestone these days. So the last thing I have is Senior Connect cards. We were up and did a few in Troy Hill. If we have them in our office, we've gotten authority by Port Authority to mail them to the residents. So if there are anybody in Troy Hill that our office helped get a Senior Connect card and they did not get it yet, we will be mailing those this week. So just wanted to update on that. Did you hear my spiel on the unemployment? I don't know when it muted. Sorry, it muted somehow.
We did hear that if people are having issues, they should reach out to your office and you'll ask a series of questions.
Right. Yep. And then what we'll do is we'll either reach out. We'll submit that to unemployment, and claim specialist will either look at their case and resolve the issue if they can, or if they need to speak to the claimant directly, they will call them directly. A claim specialist will call them. Unfortunately, it's not an overnight fix, but at least it puts them in the queue to get a claim specialist to look at their case. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate those updates. Feel free to hang around, or you can pop off.
Okay, thank you.
Mohammed, would you like to go next with Councilman Wilson?
Well, I'm able to give the update. So hi everyone, how's it going? Good to see everyone. Hopefully we can see each other in person soon. There are some things opening up. I did have my first community meeting in person. Everyone wore a mask, and that was a bit different. But I want to go over some things that the city is doing, but then also specific needs to your neighborhood. Some of the stuff that we've already discussed in, I believe, the February meeting. So basically, some of these things I'm going to go over, they're on our Facebook page. Like if we go over some links, and if you can't get them fast enough through the chat, because I know Mohammed will drop some links as I talk. You can feel free to reach out to our office page on Facebook. It's Office of Councilman Bobby Wilson. So the play facilities, so they're going to begin reopening, and they should all be reopened by hopefully by June 15th on Monday. And those are basically a lot of amenities that we've been missing in our parks. specifically to your neighborhood, like the spray park. And but unfortunately, the pools will still remain closed, and there will be some safety plans around some other things that we enjoy, like if you want a block party permit, groups will be allowed to go up to 250, and there will be like a COVID-19 safety plan circling around that. So when you reach out for that permit, they'll go over that at that point. So you may notice that the DPW would be out rehabbing some of the fields this week. The farmers market is happening down in the Allegheny Commons. That's going to start on Friday, and that's going to run from 3 to 7. It'll be more on the regular schedule that they typically do. You can go there and you can see that there will have postage signage saying, talking about the differences that will, the changes that will be implemented. One is they don't want any pets in the farmers market, and they would appreciate only one family member doing the shopping. So similarly to what we've all been doing when we go to the grocery store, we're trying to limit how many family members are with us. You can also you should be aware that you should have exact change if you're going to use cash. Also, the preferred method is card, and you can also use your if you have an EBT card. So as we shift into this green phase, one thing I did want to go over, because I know that's a concern for a few businesses in your district, is just what do we do at 50% capacity? So the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, they have a Google Doc that they would like people to fill out, and basically we want to see what the need is for each of these businesses, so that there are some possibilities that we can possibly close down an alley for these businesses. So feel free to look in the chat for that link and reach out to our office so that we can help you with that form. Even if you know a business owner somewhere else, I'm just letting you know that there is a process for that, so we can help you with that. So specifically for your neighborhood, we had a conversation with your neighborhood group about paving, and so initially I'll just say that the street, I'm not sure what the name of it is, but it goes from River Avenue to the island. That's been in really bad shape for a long time, and that's going to be paved. I know that's kind of a sore subject with whether or not that's part of your neighborhood, but that is something that a lot of people close to your neighborhood access, and we really need to get that done because it's in really bad shape. The one that your neighborhood group brought up was on Lowry Street, and with all the construction that will be happening with the Lowry Street Bridge, all the heavy equipment and trucks, that section that was requested, we're going to have to wait a little bit until that is, that construction is finished. So we're looking into next year for that. But that's not to say that instead of, we should, if there are sites that are really bad, please let us know, like what section, maybe like give us a rough address where we can document where there's like a string of potholes that are bad, and we can send out, we can put that in for DOMI or Public Works, or actually I think they hired a separate company to come out and basically, cut in a patch. So it's a much nicer patch that it'll get us to next year for that street. So one of the big ticket items for your neighborhood are these landslides. So there are two now, and one is the one that has been in conversation for quite some time. That's the one on the backside of Cali, and that is so there was a geotechnical investigation. They've explored the solutions for that, and they will come up with a final design, and hopefully they can get to that this summer because work has been somewhat delayed, and they're working their way through these landslides. Another landslide is the one that's around the playground by the Cali Getman Center, and that does have money already allocated for slope upgrades, and that is that's part of the project for the survey that you all took, on what would exist in that space. And that's another thing I want to touch on, is that because of the COVID-19, the Department of Public Works they got a little delayed with everything, and they're still doing that analysis on that survey. So we did press them on that this past week, because I knew this meeting was coming up, and so that's on my front burner now, to make sure that we get those results, because it's been quite some time. We need to figure out where everyone in your neighborhood, in the surrounding neighborhoods, stand in terms of what should be in that space. So I don't have any other items right now, and I'm happy to take any questions if you'd like to do it now or later.
I think we should take some questions now if we have a moment. Does anybody in the audience, you can unmute yourself if you have any questions?
I don't know. Can he make a proclamation from the city for Mrs. Roush?
Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that. So if you give me that information, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, that sounds good. That's all I have.
Keegan, did you have a question?
Yeah, it was, I just wanted to ask permission rather than forgiveness. I don't know if you guys even know what disc golf is, but I've been throwing Frisbees around in Gardner Field. I was just curious who I could talk to if I wanted to clean up a little corner of that field. Maybe put something eventually permanent there. Would that be a DPW item or something else? Thanks.
So DPW does maintain the field. Can you describe what you're talking about? You're saying you throw Frisbee in the field? Yeah.
So really, I set up a basket, and me and my buddies throw Frisbees at it.
Like Frisbee golf.
Yeah, disc golf. Yeah.
I got you.
So we've just been setting it up in this one kind of shady corner, and kind of trying to pick up, move cinder blocks and clean it up a little bit. I just wanted to know if that was all right, or talk to you about park, cleaning up that park a little bit.
Yeah, can you send us your an email or number we can contact you? That way we can, maybe we can get DPW to do that work and work with you on that.
Okay.
Because I don't see. I mean, the point is for people to use the space. So if it's being used for good, for a purpose like that, I don't see any reason why not.
I'll follow up. Abby, I had your email.
Yeah, I'll connect us. We can talk about that. I'd love to see if you are there anytime soon. Also, if you can snap some pictures too, just to document it. I think that would be helpful.
I'll also add that I just put my personal, my work email and phone number on the chat. So you can also just email me about, this question that you have about this cleanup. And I'd be happy to find out exactly who you need to ask permission from rather than forgiveness to make it happen.
Great. Does anybody else have any questions?
I have a question. Pat Campbell. On the landslide, you said there's two areas, two locations?
Yeah, well, I'm calling one slope remediation. And then the other one is the greater landslide that has happened on the back side of the field.
Where's the first one at, though?
So
the location.
Haven't by the playground, by the Cali, it basically would.
Right. Are they one and the same?
So that's what I had questions about that whenever I was getting updates from DPW. They have it in. I'll have to check on that, but they had it as two separate items. So I want to make sure that was my concern too. It seems odd that there would be two, but they were talking about that one as a stabilizer to the new project.
Okay, that's good. And just is Vince still on the line? If not,
I don't.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, yes.
I just have a general question. Usually, I guess each year they have the senior discount. I thought of this when someone was talking about the produce market, but they have the vouchers for seniors. Are they going to do that this year?
So I'm not sure to answer your question.
Okay,
I heard they were, but they haven't given us any details yet.
Okay. I think that was through the Department of Agriculture.
Yeah, I believe that's who typically, does that. I will check on that and get back to you. They sent us an email a little while back. I thought that they said they were, but they haven't given us any details. So I'll check on that and get back to you.
All right, thanks.
All right, Pat.
I'm done. Thanks.
Does anybody have any other questions, thoughts, concerns? If not, we will move on to our next updates, which comes from our community affairs team. I'm gonna go through this list really fast. Again, we'll post all the links for these resources on our site afterwards. And in addition, if you have any questions, I can follow up with the community affairs team separately. I'm sure some of these updates I'm gonna skip over since Bobby hit on some of these earlier. So let's see. First of all, the city of Pittsburgh, their COVID-19 updates, they've revamped their website. So make sure you check that out for all the latest city of Pittsburgh related COVID-19 updates. They wanted to let everybody know that all businesses operating in Pittsburgh are required to post new paid sick leave notice for employees. So if you or anybody else is operating a business in Troy Hill or in the city, please reach out or check their website. We'll post that link as well. The third update's a big one. So City of Pittsburgh, we're gathering community input for the 2021 capital budget. This is a big deal. We want our voices to be heard. We want us to, if there are major projects that we want to have addressed, things like paving, other capital improvements in our neighborhoods. They have done a couple different sessions, virtual sessions, but most importantly, there's a survey that they have on their website. We'll post the link for that. It was also in the most recent Troy Hill Citizens newsletter. Please take a moment to fill out that survey so we make sure that our voices are being heard. Let's see. So we already talked about their paving list. Thank you very much. It's an ongoing project, and I'm sure, I think we're all aware that the city and lots of us have had a lot of setbacks due to COVID-19, so we're glad that things are moving forward again. Everyone's being safe. That's number one priority. Let's see. So Mayor Peduto announced COVID-19 funding for residents and small businesses. Peduto has allocated more than $12 million in federal funds to the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. There's a full list of agencies and organizations that are receiving funding on a press release on his website. We will post that as well to the website. There's a Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So this is for any child living within the city of Pittsburgh. They receive one new book a month until they turn 5. Already 17,000 books have been distributed so far in the city. That's amazing. I love that. So if you guys know anybody that have any young kids 5 years and younger, make sure you pass that information along to them so they can get their books. Let's see. So as you guys probably know, we have community gardens in Troy Hill, and the city recently announced gardening guidelines specific to our community gardens and adopt-a-lot sites. That means, of course, stay home if you're feeling sick, if you've come in contact with anybody that's ill. Unfortunately, we can't hold any volunteer work days at this time, just until we make sure that everybody's being safe and healthy, and we have more CDC guidelines coming out. You should visit the garden alone or with a member of your household, but don't bring anybody extra into the space. Even though it's outdoors, we still want to make sure we're keeping a number of people down that are contributing to that environment. Limit the garden limit to 1 to 3 people at any given time. And, we can post signage as well to make sure people know that. For those of you that have garden plots already, they're looking really great. I would encourage you to take a stroll. We have 2 locations in Troy Hill. One is on Lookout Street and one is on Elbow, the little loop right by Rialto. Both of them are really nice. We're really happy. I think almost all the beds are taken this year, so that's great news. Bobby Wilson touched on this, but Domi launched their small business street shutdown program, and actually one of our own businesses, Scratch Food and Beverage, is looking at taking advantage of their sidewalk on Froman Street. So one of the big problems with post-COVID restaurant business is that they can only have 50% capacity in their buildings. So Don and the Scratch team are looking at taking it outside so they can actually do restaurant business. So if you guys see some tables outside in the coming weeks, don't be surprised. Hopefully the weather will cooperate for them, and they can get back to business. And then I think that's all the updates from our community affairs team that I have via email. Does anybody have any questions that I can pass along to that team, or any questions for me about that? Nope. Feeling good? Excellent. So hard. I find these.
Hello?
Yeah?
Abby, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Penny. What's up?
Okay. So I tried to get in. I don't know why my phone wouldn't unmute. I wanted to ask kids are asking about the free lunch program. Is that going to happen this summer?
That's a great question. Bobby, do you know anything about that? Otherwise, I'll pass that along to the team.
Yeah, I think it is happening. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that. You have a way to disseminate information if I get back to you.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if possible, like maybe get some flyers out too, let kids know if it is going to happen, because a lot of times they don't know. They're not going to know what's going on unless we get some kind of communication out there. So even if you can drop them off in my mailbox, I can like start spreading them out like here and there, and then word of mouth will go if you can get me some information.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Thanks, Penny.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Thoughts, questions, concerns? Okay. We have a couple more updates from Troy Hill citizens in general, and of course our other board members are on the phone, so they can feel free to pitch in too. If you have any questions about these projects specifically, feel free to reach out to us. Just a couple brief updates. So first things first, you guys might have noticed that we have an office space at 1619 Lowry. I like to give you guys an update on how this is going. So we have a woman who wants to open a business in the very front of the office building, and we have our office in the back, Troy Hill Citizens. And it's a great space. It's centrally located. It's a beautiful storefront. So just to let you know, we're working towards right now. We've been doing on Troy Hill Citizens end some ADA compliant plumbing. So we had a plumber in there. He's finishing up. We're hoping to have the final permits done soon. And then in addition, our prospective tenant who wants to own the beauty salon, she is looking at getting HVAC work done in the space, which is necessary for her to have the required occupancy permit for her business use. So we're kind of closing in on that. It's been a long road, but we're figuring that out as we go. And so we're really excited to get her in there, hopefully later this summer. Obviously, again, with COVID-19, we had a little hiccup, but we're really excited to have her in there. So if you guys walk past that space, you wonder what's going on in there, that's what's going on. We still have our office in the back, and I can be found there occasionally, but since I've been working from home, usually I'm doing Troy Hill Citizens stuff at home too. So the other things that we have outstanding is, we need to follow up with the city. We have to get back on their radar about the Cali Rec Center. I don't know if Bobby has any updates for us on the Cali Rec Center plan, but I know that we were waiting for them to take our feedback. If you guys are not familiar with this project, the Cali Rec Center is being redesigned, and we're looking with the city to have a new community center built there in that location. So they did surveys. They gave out surveys to school students, to the residents of Troy Hill, Spring Garden, basically everybody in the area who would use that facility, to try to determine what the center, what that community center would look like, what uses it needs to have, what needs. And they're synthesizing all the data and then coming back to us with design possibilities. So that's the latest update on that. Bobby, do you have anything in addition to add to that?
Bobby, if I may, I mean, we're aware of all this, and we reached out to Chris Hornstein and Molly Onifer about the status of that analysis. So there's about 275 responses they got. Basically, they were supposed to present it to your community group in April, but COVID-19 has completely disrupted that timeline. So they're still finishing it up, and I think they're rushing to get it done into you so that they can launch the design phase of this once the community has had a chance to see the input they've gotten. But as soon as we can get them to come to a community group meeting and present that, we'll do it.
Great, thank you. I sort of had a feeling that, again, with COVID-19, everything ground to a halt for basically a couple months. So, but we're excited to get a new update from them, and I'm sure that we will hear soon. The other project that I reached out to that's real estate and building related is we have an individual who wants to build the apartment buildings on the corner of Troy Hill Road at 1300 Gardner. That's right when you come to the top of the road across from the Provident Charter School. I reached out to the architect. They have no updates for us. They're still in city planning. The building has not changed from its original design or intent. Everything remains the same. I believe they're working internally on some very minor adjustments based on what the city wants. So things are moving along in that realm. And as soon as I have any updates about potential start dates for construction or anything related to that, we'll let you know. Okay, last update from two more updates actually. So obviously a lot of our events this year were again thrown into chaos. We didn't have our spring house tour. We usually have a house tour in June. We had to cancel that, unfortunately. Obviously, in this time, it's not really feasible to have a lot of strangers wandering through people's houses, even with good intentions. So hopefully we'll do that again in 2021. We're looking forward to rebooting that, but for this year, unfortunately, it's postponed, well, canceled, I suppose. However, Pigtoberfest is still on. Pigtoberfest is our fall community festival. Right now, the date is going to be Saturday, October 3rd. It's usually around 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the afternoon. What we do is we have live music. We're going to do a pig roast. We had pumpkin carving last year, and that was a huge hit for all the kids. I sent my poor sister to Aldi, and she literally bought 33 pumpkins at Aldi. I think they were like floored that she needed all those pumpkins. So we're going to have to source from a couple different locations this time, but we're excited to host that. It's outdoors. So unless, of course, we'll be monitoring everything the city says and the CDC guidelines. But as of right now, we'd like to still host that event with some appropriate social distancing. We'll keep you posted on that. We're going to start to plan that soon. October will be here before we even know it. I can't believe it's June already. Now, in terms of event planning or anything else, if you guys want to pitch in, if you have any ideas, we're happy to hear. Happy to have your help. Shout out to everybody. We have a couple people on the call right now who attended bar and helped serve food at the last event. So thank you so much for that. The last update I have is that our next meeting will be August 12th. We meet the second Wednesday of every other month. So no meeting in July, but a meeting in August. We would like to host it. Usually we host this in the Most Holy Name School Hall underneath the Most Holy Name building. However, of course, right now they're not open yet due to COVID. So hopefully by August things are back to normal. We will likely be required to wear masks, so just keep that in mind. And I did speak to Janet, who's on the call. I know that our block watch for this month is also canceled for the same reason, but hopefully we will resume that very soon. So does anybody have any questions, comments about any of that information? Great. So as I said, I recorded this meeting. We'll be posting this on our website. I'll copy all the links that our community liaisons have generously shared in the notes here. We will post that to our website as well. If you have any questions, I know we have some action items to follow up with for specific individuals. We'll make sure we get those emails out and we'll loop back with you. Other than that, I'll give you one last shout out. Any other comments, questions, anything else? Okay.
Yeah, I do have an update. So I'll give you a little sneak peek. So I did reach out to see about the summer food program, and I'm happy to report that there will be a press release tomorrow saying that they will have this program. So I guess you're the first to know.
Great, that is great. It's nice to be first. All right, wonderful. So I'm gonna ask our board members are gonna hang on the line since we have a little board meeting after this. But thank you everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. And we'll be in touch.